at the Dolfini residence today, and with it running about 113, and we're calling for 115 tomorrow here in mid-June. I want to do a video on low water plants. So I want to start over here. The red yucca that we have, I have these planted up and down this wall because this wall takes a beating all summer long, west exposure. And these are newly planted, but these plants, once established after the first year, do not need any water at all. So I really like putting them around here. I don't have to run irrigation to them. I actually don't have to do much to them. I trim them up once a year. I personally think they're kind of a cool looking plant, but they add greenery around the pool here, and they don't require any water. So these are really neat, especially with water restrictions coming, and it looks like it's just going to keep getting hotter and hotter. I would suggest that if you're going to go non-edible, that you go with some of these low water plants that I'm going to show you. These are one of my favorite because, like I said, they don't take any water. So they're even better than low water. They really don't require any water in Arizona, even when it's 120 degrees. These big ones here, over here, they don't actually require any water. They're not getting any water. So probably twice a year, I'll just give them a deep water, especially at the end of this month when it's getting really dry out. But other than that, they don't get any water. So highly recommend the red yucca. We'll go down. As we go down, I'll show you the rest of these. So here's another newly planted one that's about 10 months ago. So these are getting just water once a week right now to get established, but after the summer's over, I will cut all the water off to these. And they're kind of neat in the spring. It's kind of drying up now, but they put out these cool flower sprouts that come out, and they're real vibrant and pink, and they shoot these out for a few months in the spring. Like I said, without water, they're still putting out flowers, they're still putting out shoots. They stay pretty green, so definitely a plant you want to add to a part of your yard if you just don't really want to pay the water bill or you don't want to use a lot of water. So, and then over here is probably my favorite palm. This is a Mediterranean palm. These things are from a very harsh part of the world, and they do really well in full sun. Like I said, this pool gets beat on very hard, and these get drip watered twice a week in the middle of the summer, hottest part of the summer, and they don't show any signs of stress. So very low water. They do well. They grow. They put out new shoots all summer long. Definitely a low maintenance plant and a low water plant. And these are lantanas. Most people know that live here in Arizona. Everyone seems to have a lantana. As you can see, the flowering has stopped a little bit because this is also just on drip twice a week, so it's not getting much water at all. So I like to add these. They add color to the yard, and they look nice around the pool, again, with very little water. They're all on the same watering schedule, twice a week, drip irrigation for about a half an hour, just one of those spaghetti lines, and that's it. So here's another Mediterranean palm, and these are cool because you can shape them however you want. See, I've shaped them so they have like two other shoots coming out the side here. They'll keep putting out new shoots. You could have 4 or 5 coming out. You can have 2. You can kind of, you know, use it as a piece of art and kind of trim it up the way that you want them. But again, low water, very green, always looks nice in the summer. Over here is another newly planted red yucca. It's even trying to put out these shoots this spring, and it was just barely planted, again, about 10 months ago with the other 2. I've been adding them in the yard because I don't have to run irrigation to them, and like I said, I kind of think they're a cool looking plant. So next over here we have the sago palm. The sago palm is it's on the same watering schedule. As you can see, the old fronds start to get a little yellow. This is actually not in the palm family, but it looks like a palm, so they call it a sago palm, and they're really cool. They grow very slow, but they will survive here, and as you can see, it's putting out new shoots. I think if I were to give it a little more water, it would look a little better, but because it's all on the same schedule, you know, I'm conserving water over here by the pool. So this thing has survived. This is like the 4th year in the ground. So very slow growing, but will survive. And then we'll go over here to the last section over by our pool. This is the oldest. This is a Mediterranean palm that was in the yard when we moved in about 8 years ago. And as you can see, there's just one shoot that had come out, and I've just continued to trim it up since I moved in here. And it's doing really, really well. And so as you can see, they all look, you can kind of trim them up to look different too, but just know if you put these in the ground, you want to give them some sand, because they're used to being in the Mediterranean area, and just give them some sand, mix in about half sand, half dirt, just a little bit of mulch, and that's all they need. I've added some wood chips around here just to help retain water. And we have another lantana over here, yellow lantana, and it's staying very green. Like I said, it's getting hot. This is the hottest, driest month of the year here in Arizona. Still looking very good. Lantanas are foolproof. You can plant those in Arizona, give them a little bit of water, and they'll survive. And then over here was kind of a test. This is a potato bush. They put out purple flowers in the spring. It seems to be doing okay. It does get this sun all afternoon. It really gets beat on. So, but it's looking good. It's still green, and I haven't given this any more water than the rest. So 2 times a week, and it's looking good. So we'll see if this lasts. This is the 2nd year in the ground, but it seems to be doing pretty dang good. So so potato bush, I can't say whether I would recommend it yet, but it's looking good so far. And then I want to go over here to this. We have a moringa that I planted over here, and this moringa gets afternoon shade, and as you can see, it's almost up to the roof. So we're about 16 foot tall already in June. This is 2.5 years in the ground from seed, and this is not getting any water. It's absolutely, I shut the water off to it last winter, and I have not turned it back on. So it's flowering, it's putting out new growth, and it'll be over the house soon, and I'm not giving this any water. So this is a great alternative for people that are looking to grow shade trees that don't have a lot of money for water, or don't want to use water because water's getting a little scarce here in Arizona. So, and then I'm going to take you over to look at a few other trees before we cut out. So we'll take you over there now. So we're over here. This is our desert willow. This was actually in the ground when we moved in here. This tree's still putting out flowers. I have not given this any water this year. I haven't given this water in over a year. As you can see, it's near the lawn, so I'm sure that the roots get a little bit of water from the lawn here. But as far as deep watering or any major water, this tree doesn't get any water. And these grow native in Arizona. So if you're looking for a low water shade tree, this is an awesome tree. It adds a lot of shade over by the pool. We love it. It puts out purple flowers. The more water it gets, the more moisture it gets, the more it'll flower. So if you don't want a lot of flowers, don't water it. But this is, this tree is helping us with shade, and it's not getting any supplemental water at all. And we're in one of the biggest droughts we've ever been in here in Arizona, and it's still looking great. So highly, highly recommend a desert willow tree. And then we'll go over to the last tree that I have over in the corner of the yard. Over on the west part of our yard, and the last tree I want to talk about is a mesquite tree. These also do not require any additional water. I'm still giving this deep water every 2 weeks just to get it established, but this is the tree that we planted by seed, and that was roughly, it was about 2 years ago. So no, it's about 1.5 years ago actually. It hasn't even been 2 years yet, but it's doing well. I like these because they stay super green. They're greener than the Palo Verdes, and they don't require much water at all. I will say this one did end up with thorns. In one of our previous videos when we planted it, I thought that I had picked the variety that had popped up that sprouted with the least amount of thorns, but I was wrong. So that's one downfall with these. It does have thorns, but for us, it's in the back corner of the yard, and it's kind of out of the way. We just want it for shade. So another one that I'm going to basically leave alone back here in the corner in a hot part of the yard and just let it provide shade. So the growth here is pretty amazing from seed. This tree's doing really well, so I would definitely recommend the mesquite. You can get mesquite trees at box stores. You can get them pretty much everywhere that are thornless. So if you wanted to get a thornless variety just to ensure that you didn't have to deal with any of the thorns, you could do that. But this was free, and it's going to require very little water, and it's going to give us some shade in the afternoon here in Arizona. So another great tree to have, especially in a dry climate like this. I would recommend these. I think they're really neat. If you pan over here, this is what they look like full size over here, and they stay green all year long with very little water to no water. So another tree that's a low water variety that has a lot of benefits here in Arizona and in the Southwest Desert. So thanks for joining us today. I just wanted to point out all the trees and shrubs that we have here that take very little water. I've been watching a lot of things on the news talking about how water restrictions are coming, and we need to be water wise and plant smartly. So this is just some of the varieties that we can use here that have done really well for me. If you have any questions, let me know, and thanks for visiting today. Have a good day.